Hello, you cunts. I'm here with Sandre Guy, UnknownArchive, and the dog of Sign Up, and we're going to watch Milo Steward's stupid fucking video.
Let's do this shit.
Yeah.
Good morning, easily offended millennials. I hope you like my new background. I call this "My city is experiencing historic flooding, and all of my valuables are on my bed in case my house floods. So I make do with what I can."
Adorable.
Isn't that what kids do?
I just love the fact that she says easily offended millennials.
Isn't that what little kids do? The shit she's doing there in the background. You know,
She's a little kid, isn't she? How old is this
No,
bitch?
no, no. I mean, like 4-year-olds. They like take furniture and build castles.
I know.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
No, she isn't.
I'm gonna go and
No, sir. That is not a she. You have just committed a thought crime. That is obviously an it.
No, see, I'm an imperialist. I can just I qualify it when I say it, and it becomes that.
I mean, the thing is, I know it's an it because it sure as hell isn't any form of intellectual life.
Just, you gotta learn how to imperialist. You just point at stuff and go, bam, you're that thing.
Don't you like her intro? Look at
Cute
this.
and canny, more than just one out of many.
Let me mute this and put some better music in the background. Maybe we can find a better tune. Wait. Let me try again. Deutschland über alles. that might fit better, wouldn't it? Or do you have some other idea for a better tune to get in the background?
Let the
I don't know.
bodies hit the floor.
I was listening to a bunch of '70s porn music that Ron Jeremy apparently released on a DVD, and I think actually that might be a pretty stellar background soundtrack. This entire thing.
Yeah.
Just like bow chicka wow 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 wow, the whole thing. It's amazing. I'll get a good link for that.
Bow chicka bow bow. Okay, let's turn up the sound again.
This video is going to include discussions about racism, and because I am white, none of these thoughts about racism in this video are my original thought. I accredit to most of the ideas that I have picked up from these two videos created.
Not only does she belong to the white race, she's apparently also a white canvas.
And look at these two geniuses.
She's definitely, the two like fucking Chris Tucker from Friday there, and the other racist ass bitch there, and like fucking this Macaulay Culkin looking bitch. It's fucking pointed out like the two possibly worst people that she possibly could come across. People who already have reputations for. She may as well have like referenced like Lacey Green and fucking what's her face, Francesca Ramsey.
I'm always amused by the fact that these guys, they will say, I don't have this right to do this thing because I'm white, so allow me to open my mouth and do it anyway.
The thing she said in the beginning.
Or they'll say, listen to me because I'm white, and now allow me to use this privilege that I've just claimed to say, don't listen to me.
The thing she said in the beginning.
They do one of these things.
None of these thoughts are my original thoughts. I have nothing to think about. I have nothing to say. I'm just saying what other people told me. I have nothing.
I'm a parrot. Someone gave me a cracker.
Yeah.
Hey,
who you calling a cracker?
Yeah, I think the reason she doesn't credit Lacey Green is because her two big gender signifiers will trigger her.
No, because she's white. That's the entire thing.
You put
the thing she said in the beginning.
She's tits on legs is what Lacey Green is.
I am
Lacey
white.
is fucking hilarious.
I'm white.
You know
about.
You know what this Milo person is?
What?
This Milo person is. You've seen the movie Twins, right?
Yeah.
With Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So basically, Lacey Green would be the Arnold Schwarzenegger in this scenario, and Milo would be like the shitty Danny DeVito character, who's like a fucking hybrid mutant of leftover DNA that just kind of sludged its way down and sort of became self-aware.
In the words of Danny DeVito, the afterbirth.
The thing she said in the beginning. The thing she said in the beginning is, "I am white, and I'm talking about racism, so I must reference Black Hitler."
I know. This is old school white people here. This is like what white people were like in the 90s. You know, we're like trying our very, very best to not like say the wrong thing. So it's like, oh, like I have these two black friends. They're my friends on YouTube. And because I've referenced them, we're all good. Hey,
should we continue playing it?
Yes,
we're probably
play it.
not going to make
please.
it for all of it.
We need momentum.
Very lovely.
Wait.
We need momentum. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
Most of the ideas that I have picked up from these two videos created by two very lovely black YouTubers. So go and check them out, please, because
Fuck off.
they're lovely and
Yeah, go
awesome.
fuck
and, like,
yourself.
why not? All white people are racist.
Have you noticed how
All men
much
are
range like her eyebrows have? Like they can go from like a full like almost 90-degree arch down to like a flat line. It's the craziest goddamn thing. She's like expressive as a fucking clown.
Have you noticed how small her head is?
Yeah, it is.
yeah. I mean, if we
Well, it's gotta house that tiny brain.
Even if we were blind, we would still be able to notice because of the content of what she says.
Look at the way she stares at Black Hitler.
Delicious Hitler.
I wonder if black people taste like chocolate.
She's looking over at Black Hitler there like, I'd lick
course
his
they do.
pussy.
Let's get
course they do.
let's get to the other part again because she's about to say something really fucking
Yeah,
delicious.
please. Okay,
Why
let's
not? All white people are racist, all men are misogynistic, all cisgender people are transphobic, all members of a majority are biased against the members of the minority or oppressed group. In fact, most people are racist, misogynistic, transphobic, ableist, etc.
And we must annihilate the Jews.
You know, the thing that's so sad about all this is that basically the only way to solve their little fucking problem is segregation.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
You know
they're
what-
like,
what's
they want to undo the entire civil rights movement. That's what it would
You know what's
take to
kinda
make the stupid
sad?
bitch happy.
It's back to Jim Crow, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
You'd have to build a wall, and you'd have to put all the trans people inside of one wall. To build another wall, put all the women inside of that wall. You have to put another one and put all the black people in, and just keep going and separate everybody out, and that'd be the only way.
Yeah, the thing is, on many college campuses, they are actually honestly doing activism to bring back segregated water fountains. Mm-hmm. Not a joke.
No, they're called safe spaces, Sandre.
I know,
Yeah.
and the thing that's so sad is that no one is smart enough to just let them have it and then point it out.
Pretty much.
Like everyone, you see, everyone keeps fighting these guys, and what you got to do is like olay them, you know, with the bullfighter, right into the goddamn fucking wall every once in a while, because they don't want what they're asking for. They want power, they want influence, they want everyone to just listen to them and do what they say. They don't. The shit that comes out of their mouth, they don't actually want any of this.
Well, the thing is, they infested academia, to be honest, and that's the reason why we are fighting them, because we want to get them the fuck out of there, because they are actually might be able to enforce their shit at one point. Can you imagine a scarier society than the kind of society where they are absolutely in charge?
Oh, actually, see, that's the second troll to my surrendering to ISIS thing. Is I will juxtapose this bitch being in control versus ISIS.
Should we
It's the
continue?
multi-level
I want to
troll.
give her to ISIS. Can we give her to ISIS?
One thing that she currently said is that she makes these overwhelming, overreaching statements. This: all white people are racist. All straight guys are homophobic. All straight people are homophobic. All cis people are transphobic. This like
Well, she
She's
has years
white.
and years and years and years of experience with this type of stuff. I mean, she has definitely been around the world. She's definitely seen a lot of other points of view. She's definitely, skirted around and, listened to other ideas and not the same shit that, she's purposely force-feeding herself every single day as, a way to comfort herself. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I've seen more of this person recently, and I've been watching a lot of other videos, and this person is so incredibly fake that, like, she has gone like on record saying over and over and over that I only do this because I want attention, and I do it to confuse people and make them question things. It's like, yeah, you do it for fucking attention, and that's why you're saying these stupid fucking things, because you think that it's going to get you attention.
That would be a great note
case in point.
To end the video, but I guess we should continue now with it, shouldn't we? Yeah, let's continue with this shit show.
I am
Fuck this person.
racist, classist, ableist, and I probably contribute to many other systems of marginalization that I am not aware of.
Yes.
Words like
And that I am not aware of.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're not aware of it, then why the fuck are you even talking about it?
Do you know who she is?
Is there such thing as having like what is that? What's that fucking disease that not Parkinson's, but the one cerebral palsy? Is it possible to have cerebral palsy but just in your eyebrows? Because there is absolutely no control over what's going on. They're like bobbing up and down. They look like two fish like talking to each other.
No. Well, what I think is going on is that the rational part of her brain is engaging in Morse code. Please help me.
I don't know what I'm doing.
She may also be channeling Donald Rumsfeld.
Just
Because she's now talking about unknown unknowns.
yeah, just the general message of, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know it's bad. It's
Yeah.
let's continue with this shit.
like racist, misogynistic, and transphobic are not insults, nor are they stereotypes or generalizations. Rather, they are facts about the way we are socialized in a Western society, and in most other societies.
I mean, no. You know, bitch, please. How much more of a generalization can't you make
about
if you
Western
say all
societies, because that is-
all white people are racists?
Well, I understand what she's saying. The problem is is that she's trying to use terms with a loaded moral context and apply them to everybody and then say, oh, but I didn't mean them in the way that everyone will always mean them. No! Use a different word then.
Do we continue?
Yeah,
go
please.
Oh, why the
societies,
fuck not?
because that is what I have the most experience with. Saying that we're all raised to believe that gender is defined by anatomy and chromosomes is not a stereotype. It's
Stop.
a fact about how we are raised.
Stop.
Everything's
Stop.
a fucking social construct these days.
Gender is not a social construct. Biology. Just page 243. Boop. Thank you. Close this book. Carry on.
Even if you have
You know what I
liberal
think these
parents
people could... Oh, never mind.
or teachers,
What I was going to say is that... Will you shove that goddamn thing off for a second? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'll shut it off. Continue, come
Now
on.
I forgot what the fuck I was talking about now. I've just...
Yeah,
fucking-
let's listen to
chromosomes.
let's listen to some more mindfuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some
I
more
reminded
mindfuck.
him.
parents or teachers who teach you about gender identity, you still come into contact with the idea of biological gender through the media or through interactions with other people. Even if you are raised by open-minded people, you will still be psychologically affected by living in a society built on imperialism.
I fucking
Oh
love
my
that.
God.
I fucking love that.
So insufferable.
Hey, don't you love the fucking word anti-imperialism? How long has colonialism now been gone? Like 50 years, 60 years? It's like saying you oppose the Roman Empire.
No. But she is conflating 19th century Western imperialism with the concept of sexuality.
Yeah.
Which has been basically a concept on planet Earth since, correct me if I'm wrong, the Cambrian explosion? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, higher multicellular life, actually. Not the West. But carry on, idiot.
There's also this thing, the constant argument about colonialism and how our past dictates who we are these days and whatnot. Let me just give the example of where I live. Germany was a fucking wasteland in 1945. And we rebuilt it to what it is today through our own fucking work. It's nothing to do with colonialism. And post-World War II, the United States, has also been majority built by the people who fucking live there.
If you go to uncontacted Amazonian tribes in the middle of South America and ask them in whatever language they speak if they have a concept of sexuality, male and female, they're going to look at you like you're retarded and go, obviously. So conflating this in any way whatsoever with the West, much less imperialism, is just
absurd.
It's just words. It's word salad coming out of it. It's brain damage.
Yeah, but I mean, not only
It's
that.
like leftist brain damage.
No. I mean, not only that. I mean, you know, like the example you just brought up when it came to, you know, tribes. Those people have very primitive technology and are very much dependent on those gender roles to even survive. The thing is, what she is engaging in is a symptom that she is very much so-called privileged, because only a person who has been as comfortable as she throughout her entire fucking life will even come to think of it in those terms.
21st century, ban all the men from name the street for a certain amount of time. Whole place is going to fall apart.
Yeah,
who's fixing the roof?
I
Who's doing the
think
electrics?
Sandre,
who's picking up the trash? The whole thing falls apart.
I think Sandre has hit the nail on the fucking head. I mean, if you look at her other videos, she sits around in a big fucking mansion with pianos and nice cutlery and other fucking shit and nice furniture. This is a creature living with its parents, being nurtured and furthered by its parents. If it didn't, if it had to live and work for its fucking living, she wouldn't be doing this shit. She has too much time on her hands and goes to college.
I disagree, because you know what I think she's actually learning here?
What?
I think she's learning how to be, I think she's learning how to do politics. I think that this is her trying to, I think she's engaging with what she sees as the relevant political system of the time, and it's a quality of people that are wealthy or privileged in any society. They are taught by their parents, by their family, how to engage with power, right? Because that's a thing they pass down to their children. And this right here, she could get herself a position of power very, very easily by just aping this progressive bullshit.
It could be that, you know, we all engage in politics for different means. I mean, my first engagement with politics really came when I started working and had to work through my living. So I'm just going to add your idea into mine and say, because she's so cuddled, she gets a completely warped view of how society works.
I mean, just think of like someone who is born into power and then sees this very deceitful political paradigm around them. And she is, let's say she's intelligent and she's politically sophisticated, she could just start teaching herself right here how to insert herself into the system. And now she can claim the moral authority of those two black people that she just threw out there.
Yeah.
She gets to speak for them. Do you see that power that she and don't criticize me, she says. Oh no. You know, because she virtue singles so fucking hard.
It might also be, as UnknownArchive said before, the fact that she has been revealed as someone who just wants the fucking attention and nothing else.
Exactly. No, but I mean, that doesn't disagree with
does anybody else in here, or does anybody in here wear optical glasses at all?
Nope.
No.
Anybody at all?
I have glasses on when I'm not at the computer.
Okay, so I wore glasses for a number of years, and I got LASIK a million years ago. But one of the things that I always remember, and I still do it to this day, is when I see other people with glasses, I immediately look at the angle in which you can see, because depending on what their prescription is how much the light or the way that the image projects will slant or start to curve off into one direction.
Right.
Well,
refraction.
One of the things that I've also noticed is that glasses like that, that's flat glass. There is absolutely no reason for those glasses that she's wearing right now. Those seriously could have come off the demo rack that you see at an optometrist's office.
Nice.
Here are some frame choices for you. That's how easily those glasses were obtained.
So this entire thing could just be a set piece.
Yeah, honestly, if this person like is constantly going on about I'm trans and I'm a boy, I feel like a boy, I feel like a boy. Just take a look at this photo right here. Just look at her dead on and just kind of imagine without the glasses. Tell me that would not look more like a boy than how these glasses just kind of make her look like a really butch lesbian.
Yeah, everything you said before, everything about her is just fucking fake. Like you said before, she just doesn't.
Yeah, see, back in back in generations past, your embarrassing high school years and the dumb things that you said in high school because you were ignorant and young. No, they went away, and the only time you ever heard them is when your parents would bust those stories out at Christmas, like, "Oh my God, you want to hear something that so and so believed when they were a kid? Well, come on over here." Well, now those stories are permanently documented and uploaded to the internet to haunt this person for the rest of their life. And the fact that this person has already, put out, I have an ideology, here's where I am in the ideology spectrum, I'm a fucking diehard loony, and I'm always going to stick to that. What happens with people like this is because they're called out, they have to do one of two things. They have to go, okay, maybe I have to rethink my position, or they have to double down. And this person's going to keep doubling down and never grow as a human being and always be this insufferable cunt.
You always bring up...
I think she's teaching herself.
I think you always bring up fine phrases that would be perfect for ending a video, but I guess we'll continue now.
Which,
sorry,
by the way, it created cisnormativity and heteronormativity.
Being cis or heterosexual is normal, you cunt. Well, normality is not defined by political movements or by political doctrines. Normality is defined by society.
This is why I'm going to be genetically engineered to bud as my method of reproduction. Just there's going to be like little growths that are coming off my shoulder. I'm going to flick them off, and they're eventually going to turn into full-grown human beings.
Think of it. Being gay has become pretty normal in our societies, hasn't it?
Yeah, sure.
It used to be kind of abnormal 20 years ago, very abnormal 30 years ago, but through constant campaigning, etc., it has pretty much become normal, and now it is normal. And now these people, create these fucking words, heteronormativity, as if normality itself was some kind of horrible fucking thing. No, normality, being part of society, is what we fucking strive for.
It's also this very transparent sort of rhetorical technique to claim a intellectual high ground by basically throwing these overly complicated terms at you. It almost sounds like, do you guys ever watch Star Trek The Next Generation?
Oh, Christ, yes.
Yeah.
You know how, like, whenever they wanted to explain some technological bullshit, they would just do this, like, technological word salad would start coming out of their mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it would ultimately boil down to a big rock coming at us, and we do not know how to get out of the way, or something stupid. What she's talking about is relatively very simple, but she's throwing these big buzzwords to try and make it sound like it has a firm intellectual basis, and she's skipping over the entire argument that would actually substantiate the position. She just uses the vocabulary to backstop the argument.
She's using pointless words. Heteronormativity.
Yeah, I mean, this is a sophist in training. That's what I see here.
Let's continue with this shit.
Normativity. A 2012 study, which I will link below, observed how white people empathize with black people less than we do with other white people, because our minds register their pain as being less severe than it actually is.
Anything to say about that? Empathy.
That's a load of shit. It's just it's the general thing that's always happened throughout all humanity. Empathy is one of those things. Like, you see people suffering in India, you send them money, but not everybody's going to, because they're far way away, and because the further something is detached from you, the more you're not going to, or you're just generally, because if you care about everything constantly, just nagging empathy for every single thing, it's going to kill you. So,
do you know what the intellectual basis is for this argument, by the way? Do you guys know?
No.
Yeah, so they did a bunch of psychological studies where they hooked electrodes up to people's heads, and timers and all that sort of stuff. And they would show them certain images, and they would get sort of feedback responses from them. And there was a quicker feedback response, and it was like a fraction of a fucking second. It was like 0.25 seconds. Difference between one race and another. So like there was in-group preference. And one of the things that was interesting was that even black people would react faster to the white guy. And so they're like, is possible an element of it was just because of the contrast in the person's face. It was more readily apparent the expression that they were making, whereas when it's all black, it's a little more difficult. And and again, the difference in response time is really short. I mean, so like the difference between the response of the white guy and the black, it's like 0.25 seconds, real fast.
Yeah,
and
but it could also be as simple as a normality bias. Like most people in the U.S., for instance, where I'm guessing this was conducted, this experiment, most people are white, 77%. So it could also be the fact that you see mostly white faces, which will enable you to develop more neurons to respond to white faces than black faces. For instance.
The thing about these
but
people
that's the basis on which they hang racism.
Well, the thing
they
about
call
these
that 0.25 second the 0.25 second bias is what they're hanging racism on.
The thing about these people is that they are masters in reinterpreting studies to confirm their fucking biases. I remember that The Guardian tried to launch this pathetic campaign like a month ago, The Web We Want, where they complained about online harassment and said we need to redefine how the internet works because so many people are harassed and shit like that. And they published this study of the comments and how moderators banned comments on their sites, like for 10 fucking years or something. And they said, okay, this study shows that women are more harassed, that female writers on The Guardian get more harassing comments than male writers. Okay, do you know what the study actually showed?
What?
It actually showed that female writers at The Guardian are more likely to ban people. You see, you can really... These people are fucking masters at reinterpreting studies.
Right.
And then they present them as actual facts, when in fact they're just interpreting their bias into an actual study, into actual numbers, and come out with bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's continue
I'm
with
you.
this shit.
Yes, please.
Raised to believe that black people are lesser and that they're more likely to be dangerous to us, even though history has proved the opposite to be true. We're raised to believe that gender is based on biology and that features that are typically...
Stop. All right. U.S. crime statistics. Carry on.
Yeah, carry on. U.S. crime statistics.
Done. That's it.
Okay.
Rest my case.
associated
point
with
over.
one sex are repulsive or shocking on the other binary gender, especially when it comes to transgender women. Beauty standards affect everyone's psychology, and cisnormative beauty standards are no exception. If you followed me this...
There is no such fucking thing as a cisnormative beauty standard. There's no such thing.
Well,
Okay, this is so fucking stupid.
Health and reproductive potential are qualities.
Well, there are people out there
this
who...
is the bullshit behind this, is because like heteronormativity is heteronormativity. We're attracted to what we're attracted to based on our biological instincts. We see certain things, symmetry in the face, the suppleness of someone's breasts, the flatness of their stomach to indicate that they haven't had. These are all things that usually attract men. And the reason is because we're biologically, instinctually attracted to young mates that will actually give us our offspring and, bring our fucking hereditary down the line. Well, like that's what normal is. So basically this person is bitching that normal human reaction is inspiring the horrible effect of normal human interaction.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is it's an individual thing. Sexuality itself. There are people out there who like getting spanked by fat women in tight Russian army leather uniforms. You know, sexuality is an individually developed thing. Everyone has their fucking kinks and whatever, and she's trying to force her fucking sexual standard on the rest of society, saying, oh no, your standard is fucking absurd and stupid, I have to enforce my own fucking standard on you.
For the sake of argument, between now and the next stop, imagine she is saying everything ironically.
She probably is. Let's continue.
This far, and you agree that all people are psychologically affected by marginalization, but you disagree with calling these biases racism or transphobia or misogyny, then there's really no point in arguing further. What?
Wow.
If you do not agree with my point of view, then there is no point in us having a discussion about how right I am.
Look at those eyebrows go up. Look at those eyebrows going up, and imagine that the entire thing is her kidding.
I
mean, that's where I am with this whole thing. I think she's just kidding.
You know what it's like? It's like an improv show. They're like shouting out suggestions to the audience. They're like, what type of person should I be? Or what area should you be? New York City. What type of person? Insufferable cunt.
I don't know if she may be like unconsciously signaling with her face, I'm just fucking kidding.
So we're halfway through. Let's see how far we can get before we go full fucking retard. The fuck is going on? Come on. Come on! I'm going to cut this shit out of the video.
Something going on here?
Yeah, it's not working.
Yeah, I think it's, I think Kraut's having some trouble.
No, it's not synchronizing anymore.
You may...
I think that's a good part.
Be very productive.
Oh, there we go.
However, I will make an argument for why I believe
something actually
we should view
just
racism, transphobia, and misogyny from a wider lens, and you can feel free to respectfully disagree with me. I think that when people hear words like racism, transphobia, and misogyny, they think of blatant, unapologetic hate, like violently attacking someone because of their identity.
Yes. You know, being a racist...
Or there could be a spectrum or some nuance to it.
Racism is a fucking opinion. Racism is a fucking opinion, isn't it? It's something. It's a position a person takes. It's not something intrinsic to us. You know? It's something you consciously decide to be.
Yeah, the thing is when it comes to racism is that it's actually not the fact that someone looks different from you that is the catalyst of the effects of racism. You can have it's rather a cultural difference that you simply have prejudice about or that you don't like. It's not actually about the way people look. It's about the cultural values you think that person has because of said skin tone and so on. That's what she doesn't realize. It's not like, you know, a Ku Klux Klan member looks at a black person and thinks just naturally out of the blue because that person is black, oh, that person probably loves KFC. No, it's because that person has attached in his or her own head.
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. There are some there are white guys in the U.S. Who will look at a black guy and they will just say, that guy, all the racial stereotypes, it's in the blood.
Well, the thing is,
that's my point. It's not actually that's, you know, because that's
that boy there got the jungle blood.
Nobody has, you know, killed someone of another race just because they look different. It's because you think that person is different in their way of acting from you.
The thing is,
you have to have some kind of secondary rationalization to actually think less of someone because of her skin tone.
Look at what she is doing and what Black Hitler is doing. Isn't the irony in this entire thing that she's doing exactly what she accuses others of doing, to a certain extent? She tries to rationalize, especially Black Hitler tries to do that, rationalize the entire concept of white people constantly being hostile towards other races or whatever into some weird socially constructed thing that determines that it is inherent and cannot be changed, that it is not an action or anything, but that it is inherent to something to us, that it is inherent to us, and that we could never change it. She's doing exactly the same thing that she accuses others of doing. She's a big fucking hypocrite in that regard, and she's too stupid to realize it.
No, she's trying to mask on. Look at her. She's playing dress up. Look at her.
Is she dressing up like a smart squirrel?
Let's continue with it. We're 2/3 through this shit.
Certainly people who commit violent hate crimes are very, very bad people. However, I believe to properly dismantle systems of oppression, we must acknowledge that being racist or transphobic or misogynistic or ableist or whatever does not make you a bad person. By being afraid to call ourselves racist...
Yep.
I'm just laughing. There's no reason to stop.
Okay.
We are failing to acknowledge how our biases contribute to systematic racism. Microaggressions are mocked as not really being a big deal, so we fail to acknowledge when they do legitimate harm. Yes, there have been a lot of police...
Can I just ask, what have you ever experienced any kind of harm out of a microaggression?
No.
Nope.
No.
Hey, do you guys watch Bearing at all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, every time, you know how he does those video or those thumbnails where it's like his bare ass and it's farting in a person's face? Every single time I see a thumbnail of Milo, I always think that fart is missing from the photo because I'm so used to seeing that pop up in every time. Like, I've watched that video twice, and, I swear to God, it still comes up in my suggestions at least every fucking day.
The thing about what these people tend to call microaggressions are just simplistic things like disagreeing with someone. Oh, you disagree with me? That's a microaggression.
Oh, I issue microaggressions all the time intentionally. I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I remember one time.
It's a fantastic way to piss off progress. See, okay, I'm in Los Angeles. Imagine this person is your neighbor on 6 sides. Or, I mean, just like in all directions. Imagine if you throw a rock in any direction, you're going to hit this bitch. How do you get through your day without either killing her or killing yourself? And literally what you have to do to keep yourself sane is to make the subtlest of little comments that you can tell set off a little firework in her head, but which is too subtle for her to do anything about it. And so, and you can feel like the need to do something, but the inability and that frustration in her head literally gets you through the day.
That assuming that she is sincere, as UnknownArchive said before.
Yes.
Let's continue.
Play.
Officers who have been outed as members of the KKK. But not every police officer who has harmed an unarmed black or Latinx person has been a member of the KKK.
Yes.
Subconscious biases are the reason why we're...
Actually, pause it for a second. You want to know why you heard that term? This is going to, I guess you haven't heard. This is a new social justice thing. Instead of saying Latino, because the Spanish language is very gendered, it's Latinx, therefore removing the gender part of Spanish.
Oh, wow, that's really stupid. They have no idea about Latin culture. That's not going to go down well. Carry on.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
What's he said before? Subconscious biases. What the fuck are subconscious biases?
I'm subjective or biased against people with hair like this.
Let me just put it like this: if you've been raped by a fucking priest when you were a 9-year-old boy, okay, sure, you're going to have a subconscious bias against fucking priests. But if you're just some regular, normal person growing up, having a childhood, going to work or whatever, I'm sorry, you're not going to have a subconscious bias, because subconscious biases, things that are kind of thrusted into your subconsciousness and determine the way you react to things on a conscious level, are usually traumatic things.
Do you know one of the things that demonstrates that this is utter bullshit is that everything is predicated on the notion that this is real, and there is no way whatsoever to prove that it isn't.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that is the whole point of the subconscious. Like, so if you say, "Well, I don't perceive it in my head," well, you go, "Well, it's subconscious."
And the thing is, we live in a society.
No way to disprove this.
We live. You know, we're not fucking ants. We're not a fucking hive mind. We are not driven by our instincts mainly. We are conscious beings. You know, our consciousness is mainly what determines our actions in society. We consciously decide what we do. The thing that separates us from fucking apes is that we consciously decide that our consciousness overrules our subconsciousness.
Well, I mean, like, one of the things that's so funny is we keep hearing, you know, these buzzwords, this sort of pseudo-intellectualism that she keeps trying to, and it's not her that came up with this nonsense. She's just copy-pasting it. But if you go back to the people that came up with all this shit, nowhere in any of their research do they lay out, and this is what a real scientist will do, this is how you prove me wrong, right? My research is based on these things, and if these things are not true, then I am wrong. And at no point does that ever happen in this entire pseudo-psychological theory.
Yeah, have you guys heard of the God of the Gaps argument?
I've heard of it. I don't remember it.
Basically, it's related to the argument from ignorance, and essentially what it means is that it's a special case where you claim knowledge of some kind of divine being simply because we lack knowledge of how some things in the universe operates. Well, this is the oppression of the gaps, okay?
Oh.
I mean, no. Listen to me. This is actually how this works. These people thrive in the shadows of unfalsifiability, okay? These people will exploit the fuck out of anything that is unfalsifiable. We see this when it comes to, you know, feminism and the fucking, you know, unregistered cases of social justice in general.
I want to see some more of this video.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say this. What she is doing now is that she is doing something that we could see a mile away. Okay, she's gonna go with the unfalsifiable route, and she knows we can't disprove her, okay? But she is too stupid, or she counts on her audience being too stupid to realize that that is actually reason enough to call bullshit already and just not take her seriously, because if something is not falsifiable, it's not even worth discussing in the first place.
Let's continue with this, because we only have a minute left.
We're more likely to see a black person holding a cell phone or a toy gun and think we see a dangerous armed person. And they're also to blame for the fact that many victims of police brutality were never given the medical treatments that could have saved their lives. Microaggressions are also to blame for the fact that transgender women are stereotyped as being sex workers.
She essentially is making microaggressions her patriarchy.
The reason for transgender women being prostitutes is a lot of them are very mentally ill, and they're not. You know, there is definitely a spectrum between like people who have gone all the way and legitimately you just cannot see them as anything except the gender that they wish to be.
The thing is, she explains everything away. Everything that is bad and horrible, she says, oh, that happens because of microaggressions. Because of microaggressions. It's like the Nazi who thinks the Jews are behind everything. Oh, everything is caused by microaggressions. Microaggressions. There's nothing else contributing to any social ills but microaggressions. It's fucking insane.
Here's what gets the trans people in trouble. They will frequently be wearing, and this is not really this is more transvestites. They'll often be wearing, you know, like hypersexualized female clothing. So it'll be like fishnet stockings, stripper heels, tight little, you know, like fucking iridescent blue dress or something. Big blonde fake wig, and the combination of all these things together kind of reads to a dude, cheap slut, and she's standing on the corner, and so you go,
that just sounds like another day here in San Francisco.
maybe prostitute.
Let's continue. We only have a minute to go.
which hurts people like Megan Taylor, who was jailed for 8 days after the hotel she was staying at wrongfully reported her. If we refuse to classify people who hold biases and stereotypes as racists or transphobes,
If we refuse to classify people on the basis of my ideological doctrine, what will happen? What will happen? Let's listen what will happen.
then we're not acknowledging how damaging less.
If we refuse to classify people, and our classification is, are you a white guy? Bam! Camp.
Yeah.
Are you cis? Bam! Camp.
Are you heterosexual? Bam! Camp. We have to... It's why I call these people Dachau feminists. Because if you ever visit the concentration camp Dachau, you will find this poster in it, which shows the categorizations that prisoners were given in it. The Dachau feminists.
Actually, this is something you can help. This is something you can help me with. Are you familiar with the term nipster?
What, nixter?
Nipster. It's a combination of hipster and a Nazi.
Oh, nipster. Yeah, it makes sense, but I haven't heard of it before.
She's a nipster.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. She isn't even aware of how horrible the things she is saying are. That's a horrible thing. She just said,
most idiots don't.
I want to classify people in society on the basis of race, gender, and sexuality, and if you don't agree with me, society will go to shit. I know how the world works, and I'll know how to be its Führer. It's... Let's continue.
Blatant racism and transphobia can be, and we're not forcing people to become aware of their own microaggressions.
We're not forcing people to be aware of how horrible they are. We should enforce this. This is like...
I can't get over the ironic eyebrows. They're too good.
No, what she just said, we're not enforcing it, and that's bad. We have to enforce it, is the only logical conclusion out of what she said.
Do you know who's... Wait. Here's a question. Who will enforce it?
Is she, of course, the dear Führer Milo.
I love this freeze frame. It looks like she's lifting her butt cheek to fart.
Her in what army? Okay, so what army does she want to enforce this?
I don't know. The Führer yet has to build an army, I guess.
I'm just saying she's going to need some white guys. I'm just saying.
Let's continue.
I mean, you know, it's funny because it's funny because she says she is gender neutral and all, but we all know that it's going to have to be guys who will be in part of that army.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
The whole point of acknowledging that we're racist, transphobic, misogynistic, etc. is so that we can better recognize our biases and work to overcome them. So those are my thoughts. I don't normally...
Didn't you just initially say that these were not your own thoughts? We have to build a better society, but it's not my own concept. I haven't dreamed it up myself. I'm building this better, glorious Lebensraumreich. Mein Reich on the basis of ideas of others. I'm just dumb enough to follow it.
Imagine, we need to draw a little Hitler mustache right there underneath the...
Oh, that would be perfect. And color the hair a little bit.
Yeah, just see her with a little Hitler mustache right there. Boop.
Hipster Hitler.
I think we're almost done. Let's fucking finish this shit.
Yes, finish this, please.
only speak on issues that I feel like black people can much more eloquently and originally speak on, but I had a lot of people coming to my channel wanting to know why I said all white people are racist, so this is why. Please go check out some other channels that I have linked in the description and in the information bar.
Okay, fuck off. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking painful. Fucking painful.
Fucking go back to throwing paint cans at burglars, Macaulay.
She says it at the end again, that these are not even her fucking ideas. This entire fucking thing is her giving a blowjob to Black Hitler.
No, but you know,
she's trying to steal Black Hitler's power. That's what she's trying to do.
No. Listen. Here's the thing. Here's what I find so fucking ironic. Okay, she claims that she's not a racist, and I don't think she is actually. But she says she's not a racist. Yet, ironically, she fucking uses two black people as prop in the video.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And she appropriates all their authority and power to push her own bullshit and to make her bigger. Yeah.
I mean, that's just. I mean, that's the height of fucking irony.
That's progressivism 101 in the U.S. I can't speak to anywhere else. That's how it works.
I think. Do any of you have any final thoughts on this? Because I'm going to end this and then edit it and send it to all of you.
I think she's brilliant. I think she's going to have a fabulous political career in the United States. She's going to show up on my ballot, and she's going to get a lot of votes. So, this is probably next president of the United States.
Yeah, let's sit down and watch the world burn. Sandre?
Yeah, I you know, bitches be cray cray, and this bitch is very cray cray.
UnknownArchive?
Toss her in a box and let's paratroop her into somewhere in Saudi Arabia.
And on that note, goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, we'll probably make more in the future and format it better and get better organized. See you later.